Hello everyone, and welcome to video 4, Resolutions and Amendments. The goal of any committee is to be able to pass a resolution. A resolution should be the combined efforts of a group of delegates, also known as a block, who have similar goals. During an unmoderated caucus is when delegates have time to form blocks and begin writing working papers, which will become resolutions once they are voted on. When you are constructing a working paper, they need to have two sections, the preambulatory clause section and the operative clause section. A preambulatory clause, as shown here, is made to state previous UN or other actions pertaining to the topic at hand. It acts as a type of introduction for the rest of the working paper. Alternatively, an operative clause is what this committee aims at passing, such as the shown example. When crafting a working paper, delegates should strive to achieve specific actions should time allow, such as specifying group members taking an action or dollar amounts when designating funding. In addition, when crafting a working paper, delegates should keep in mind that only working papers from the Security Council possess a legally binding effect internationally. GA committees can only produce voluntary resolutions. In conjunction with that, delegates wishing to create a meaningful working paper should seek the support of relevant countries. For example, if a border dispute is to be resolved within a resolution, the resolution will not be effective without the involved nations agreeing to it via signing the working paper. Be sure to look into the proper formatting of working papers as well. While different conferences may have unique rules, such as differing sponsor limits, many commonalities exist, such as ending all preambulatory clauses with a comma and all operative clauses with a semicolon, starting preambulatory clauses with an italicized word or phrase, and underlying the first word or phrase of all operative clauses. Colons are only used to separate operative clauses from their subclauses. Subclauses and sub-subclauses do not need to be capitalized or given any unique formatting. And it is important to note that it is commonly accepted for subclauses to have two, meaning a single subclause will not be accepted and instead should have a subclause A and subclause B, as a single subclause can usually be incorporated into the overarching operative clause. Lastly, only the final operative clause of a working paper should end in a period, signaling the end of the working paper. Delegates should also take into consideration the committee's purview, that is, noting what their committee's purpose is when formatting their goals in a working paper. An example would be an economic forum such as the Economic and Social Council or ECOSOC, focusing heavily on climate change. Although there are ties to national economic stability and climate change, a body such as ECOSOC would be best fitted to handle the economic side of the issue and leave the climate side of the issue to bodies with better purview, such as the UN Environmental Program, UNEP, or a Conference of Parties COP committee. Once the block has finished their working paper, they should turn it into the chair. Proper formatting is required in order for the working paper to be approved by the chair and to be opened up to the body to be voted on. See our website for an example resolution paper which contains proper formatting. Upon the complete submission and approval of a working paper, the dais will allow delegates to bring working papers to the floor via a motion. This provides them with the opportunity to present their work to the room. At this point in time, the main authors of the working paper being presented should then read the paper aloud to the room. Following the completion of working papers, delegates will have the opportunity to amend each working paper as they see fit. This can be done via an amendment form and can add or remove or change any of the clauses in the paper. Amendments can either be friendly or unfriendly. Friendly amendments are those in which all authors of the original paper approve of and are automatically added to the original working paper. Unfriendly amendments do not have the consent of all original authors. It is important to note that not all conferences distinguish between amendment types and therefore would require all amendments to be voted upon. Amendments, like working papers, must be motioned to be brought to the floor before they may be considered for a vote. Additionally, delegates may find themselves in a position in which multiple writing blocks have created similar or complementary working papers. Here they would seek to attempt to merge their papers via an amendment process, or by simply rewriting and submitting their working papers as one new paper. After all amendments have been submitted, the dais will prompt delegates to move into voting procedure. For voting procedure, see our next video, Video 5, Voting on Working Papers and Amendments.